Hey everybody, it's Bust of Busted Strategies number 19, doing another Innistrad draft. Let's get going. Filling up slow, goodness. Everybody's out there. Well, as we're recording this, everyone's out there adjusting their fantasy rosters. By the time y'all are watching this, everybody will just be sad about the state of football. Tom Brady won or lost, the Chiefs won or lost. If you don't care about football, then I hope your book was good. Hope your soccer team won. But here we go. Here we go. Don't have to worry about sports anymore. So let's see. Starting out with Grafted Identity feels pretty good. This is one of the stronger spells in the format. These control magics are always quite powerful. And then this sacrifice thing, it works reasonably well in both blue-black and blue-white. So it'll be pretty tough for us to find something better than this. We always, talk about at the beginning, you want to either find a highly powerful bomb or you want to find a removal spell, and then we get both of them all wrapped up in a single card. So quite happy to pick up the Grafted Identity. Looking at these cards, it looks like not unreasonable to think one of these white cards would wheel. Wouldn't be surprised for us to be able to pick up a Beloved Beggar or a Morning Patrol out of this pack on the way back, but these are all quite good cards, and the Beggar, Outrider, Morning Patrol's kind of fillery, and Candle Trap is decent removal. And so won't surprise me to see that. We might need to keep that kind of in the back of our minds. We might have a little bit of white coming back. There's even potentially a Winterhorn Blessing for blue-green, but the Grafted Identity is not really a blue-green styled card. Okay, so on to the next one. Previous person took the rare. Reasonable set of cards. Nothing blue that we would want to start with at this point. Like Shift Rep Sifters is just something we're never taking with pick 2. So this is a fairly weak pack overall. I don't want to be drafting blue-red, so we'll ignore the Burn the Accursed. And that just basically breaks us down to, do we want to take a Stromkirk Blood Thief, or are we looking at a Silverbolt or a Morning Patrol? And none of this is particularly exciting. I'm leaning towards just taking the Silver Bolts, as this will not really impair any of our ability to take cards in the future. And then if we do end up in blue-white, it's nice to have the removal spell. I was kind of looking towards the blue-white bro, whatever his name was, there, or the white unit, the vigilance thing, just as kind of a means to kind of cut white off. We're going to be shipping some good white to our left, and it would be nice if it wasn't tabling around for everybody, but that is come and gone. I'm fine enough to pick the removal spell. Then with these, there's nothing that's really making me excited about any of these cards. Hallowed Respite isn't one of the big powerful ones. It looks like we're either taking a look at Baithook Angler as a plays well in both blue-white and blue-black, or the Vengeful Strangler, which is much more powerful than the Baithook Angler, but we are less likely to play it if we end up in the Disturbed deck. And with these, I don't think it's strong enough to come in and take the Strangler. I'm just going to stay on point with our blue cards here. If we end up in blue-black zombies, the Angler still gives us something to kind of sacrifice off. And then if we end up in blue-white, we do have ourselves a Disturb unit. Okay, yeah, another. This is like, I think here, like, we have to take the Revenge of the Drowned. This is a very weak pack. I kind of noticed that we've been passing, a decent white card in kind of every pack, and we could have come in and just cut it off completely, but none of them were strong enough to make me really feel like we needed to be at white. And then with these cards, we're starting to get to the area where if we start to see the likes of the Shadow Beast sightings or the red removal spell, the red lightning bolt kind of thing, we'll consider looking that way once we get here to like pick 5 and 6 and 7. But I'm happy enough with this collection of blue cards we've picked up to this point. We just gotta find something that really gives us some direction here. Okay, and then another just kind of general card set. I'm looking at the Vivisection, and then if we do take this, we just need to really kind of like lock in on the sacrifice theme, and so we'll probably end up blue-black. We have to just really focus on the zombies from this point forward. Otherwise, these removal spells are fairly weak. I could see an argument for just picking up a Locked in the Cemetery. If we end up in blue-white, this is kind of one of the premier removals there. But my thing with Vivisection, though, is we've never really needed this much card draw in the format. It feels kind of odd to say something like that. Card draw is always quite good, but Just feels like we always have enough to do with our mana. I'm just going to pick up the Locked in the Cemetery here. It's like I'm pretty sure we're in blue. I'm pretty sure we're also going to be in blue-black, but let's keep ourselves locked into blue for the moment. Okay, then the cards here very weak. I'm looking at just picking up something like Drownyard Amalgam. I haven't been a huge fan of Stormrider Spirit. Its value keeps going like lower and lower for me, but we are still seeing like reasonable white cards come through here. The Flare Faith is a decent combat trick in blue-white. I'm really just like looking for the sign that this stuff is completely open and to go into white or black. It's just not happening. I'm going to take the Stormrider Spirit. I think this at least gives us kind of a closer if we end up in blue-black, even though we don't really want to play it. All right, well, I think we can just continue on with the Silverbolt. Been seeing these go quite late here. Just again, like the Soulgrift Guide is a reasonable unit, but gotta get that point of direction here. Oh, here we go. We could finally take a Morcut Behemoth rolling in at pick 8. I think this will kind of solidify us into blue-black zombies. Just having this isn't like a really top-notch unit. This isn't like the best you can have. I'd rather have the Grave Titan, but this is good. I think I feel good about being in blue-black now. All right, I'm not going to play any of these, but let's just take the black card out of the pack. Okay. Morcut Behemoth making his rounds here late. Okay, I don't suspect we'll find any cards on color at this point. Hey, we played Crossroads Candle Guide before. I could see it potentially making the cut somewhere, but we'll just have to wait and see. So not a really ultra powerful first pack. I think this was just it's kind of one of the downsides of having to draft outside of pods, and that if we were playing against within the pod, like this seems just like it was a fairly low quality collection of cards. But once we have to go out into the real world, we tend to run into more powerful decks along the way. But here, if the average card quality in our pod is a 4, when we're out there facing the 5s, it's a little bit of an uphill battle. But anyways, back to the pack here. I'm just going to go with the Organ Hoarder. This is kind of the premier zombie. We can still move ourselves out of blue if we want. I don't think it's going to happen. We're looking at some decent cards to potentially get on the wheel. We've got the Procession, ideally the Falcon Abomination or the Hobbling Zombie, but I think the Organ Hoarder is a fairly safe pack here. We just need to come in and clean up our early game. Our early game is abysmally bad. We at least have cards to play, but the things we're going to be looking for here, just early game and guaranteed removal. So if we can pick up a defense trade or something, and then we need zombie generators to take advantage of things like the Behemoth and to sacrifice off for the Grafted Identity. Deck needs a lot of work. We have a reasonable collection of cards, but we don't have a deck here. Even within these, I'm looking to remove the Candle Guide, looking to remove the Stormrider Spirit. I think we're okay. We got a lot of good stuff happening here, but need a bit of help. Okay. So here, I think we just have to come in and take the Siege Zombie. This is our kind of premier way to win the game. I could see an argument for taking Covetous Castaway. It plays to a lot of the themes we're trying to pull off here. We need an early game unit with the mill cards like. I thought we had one of the mill cards. I thought we took one of the bigger guys. But if you end up milling him away, it's completely fine. He's quite a strong card, but. I think, well, at the end of the day, can we close out these games if we don't have a Siege Zombie? Probably. We could probably find a way. The Castaway can close out games on his own as well. So I think this is fairly safe. I don't think we'll get anything back out of this. Ideally, we might get a Startle back as a way to generate a zombie, but it's a fairly weak set of cards for us. Here we're just stuck with a Bait Hook Angler. Not a lot going on. A lot of very good green-red cards in this pack, but not so much for our blue deck here. We can still look to white. We only have the one black card in our deck at this point, but I'm still pretty certain we're going to end up in blue-black. Let's just go ahead and move these out. I'm cool to bring back in cards like Storm Rider Spirit and Crossroads Candle Guide, but kind of want to see what we're getting ourselves into here a little bit. Okay, and beautiful. Here's a Digraph Horde. This is our kind of premier late game bro. Love to pick up these shipwreck marshes. I still need to get a lot of the lands out of the new set, but the Digraph Horde is our premier late game. Okay, okay. Got 2 black cards now. Up to 2. Yeah, not bad. I mean, this is still feeling reasonable. Again, just needing that early game. The bait hook anglers aren't the best bro we can be dropping down early, but make do with what we have. Here we go. Feel a little bit better about picking up the Covetous Castaway now that we're getting past the Siege Zombie. I guess it kind of makes sense to look at it that way, that we would, just take the uncommon. Here, I would feel really good if we got to table this Larder Zombie. I don't suspect it'll happen. I think whenever this comes back here with 2 cards on it, it's going to be like, Plummet and Festival Crashers or something, but I've seen stranger things than wheeling that zombie. Oof. Oh, buddy. Pick 6 Organ Hoarder. That feels pretty good about blue being open. Okay, so I feel good about our card advantage, about our late game. Now we just need to look for some removals. Locked in the Cemetery is going to have to do it here, but we're looking for removal and then the things to fill out our early game, and then zombie generators. Like, those are the big 3 we're looking for. If we're not opening like a bomb quality card, then we're going to most certainly look to pick up one of those things. All right, let's just lock them all in the cemetery. It's serviceable. That's what we'll call it as far as removal goes. We'll call it serviceable. Okay, well, let's go with the Hobbling Zombie in this one. I feel like we have enough bait hook anglers at this point. One of our first units to come out here and actually generate a zombie. Coming in with the Startle, good deal. Okay, we'll never play Shipwreck Sifters. I really can't recommend playing the Shipwreck Sifters unless you're in blue-white, or if your deck is really just hurting for a 23rd card. So we'll pick up the Evolving Wilds here. Remember to move that back to our deck here in a bit. Yeah, our Larder Zombie didn't table into this pack. It's a little unfortunate, but it is what it is. Oh, we are just going to come in here and open up some bombs. The Sludge monster is absolutely fantastic. Just a mountain of stats on this thing. And then just, instantly nukes your opponent's best unit, and then hopefully takes down some of their better units in the future. More than happy to pick up a Sludge monster. On the way back, though, we're not going to be getting too much out of this pack. I don't think we'll so what we'll end up getting is like a Devious Cover-Up or Otherworldly Gaze. Neither of those are playable, but I guess we can't complain when we're opening up the old Sludge monster here. Okay, we got a removal in Defense Straight. Again, another pack where we're probably not going to have anything come back, just a mountain of red cards here, but at best it would be like a Geist Wave. Okay, and then just, this is such a bad place. We're happy enough to take the Larder Zombie, given that, it's one of the only blue and black cards here, but Naya all over the place. And I think this is just a function of how the packs have been opened. It's kind of is what it is. But I've been happy enough with these zombies. It's slowly started to grow on me. I initially thought it was just going to be complete garbage, but just a zombie shuts down the early game. He gives us some card quality as the game progresses. He's been decent enough. Okay, we'll take the Defense Straight over the Flip the Switch here. Not opposed to playing Flip the Switch. Been reasonably happy with it, but it's not something that we really need to pick up. And then here, are we really going to have to pick up a Component Collector? And then if we do, are we ever even going to play it? Get out of here. That's not the right button. It's a dude. It's like, are we ever going to play this removal package of 3 Silver Bolts? We get a Silver Bolt here. We're going to play 3 Silver Bolts, 3 Locked in the Cemeteries, and 2 Defense Straights? I don't think so, but there is a world where we do need this. Just, it's a Horned Turtle. I've always had a nice enjoyment of Horned Turtles. I don't feel that upset about adding it in here. All right, then another reasonably weak pack. If we're going to pick up some of this card draw, I want the Vivisection, but we really don't have the support for it. Our zombie generation is very weak at this point. big old pile of Garbos again. I could see it picking up a Jack-o'-lantern. I don't know if we'll ever play it. It's like if we're gonna play a turd like this, I'd almost rather just play Blade Brand. We have some of these really bad early blockers that would feel, not bad about cycling that on. And yeah, this is just a weak set of cards. Cards we were expecting to wheel are. It's just the downside of not being in Naya here. Alright, nothing we're ever playing. Just get on out of here. Pax Betrayal. And our last one, another Pax Betrayal. Okay. I mean, we have a reasonable collection of cards here. We got some big-time power in a lot of these. This is just going to be more along the lines of a good cards deck and not so much a... oh, just took something out. Sludge Monster. And not so much a, cohesive big build-around strategy. But I think we can make this work. We're going to have to pick up our creature count. We're currently at 14. And so I don't think we want to remove any of these. Probably not going to add any in either, though. I don't want to play Stormrider Spirit. We already have 3 5-drops. Bat Whisperer is not going to really do anything for us here. So I think we're just kind of like stuck with the creatures that we have, and then we just have to kind of clean this up as far as our spells are concerned. So, I mean, Devious Cover-Up will go. Vivisection is one that I'm looking to remove, but let's take a look at these other ones real quick. I'm half tempted to keep this Blade Brand, right? Don't get me wrong, this card is not very good, but it's like when our early game package is things like Larder Zombie, Bait Hook Anglers, we're going to be playing this Component Collector. Just letting us potentially trade one of them up is quite good. Like if this Component Collector gets to block at 3/3 and get the cycle with the Blade Brand and win the combat, it's not that bad. It's just the only real downside to this is we already have a pretty big mountain of removal, and I don't think we need to really add to it. So I think that can go. One of these card draw style effects can go between either Vivisection or Secrets of the Key, and I'm looking to just take out Vivisection here. We don't have too much that we're really willing to sacrifice off, and so we can hang on to the Secrets of the Key here. And then otherwise, I think we're good to just take out this Locked in the Cemetery. 2 of them feels fine. We have this removal package of 2 Silver Bolts, 2 Locked in the Cemetery, 2 Defense Straight, and Grafted Identity. I think that's more than enough. And this gets us to a pretty decent space. Let's take a Swamp out. We're going to add in our Evolving Wilds. And I think this is good to go. I mean, I guess as we get to the end here, I could look to add in Crossroads Candle Guide, just to have another, kind of meaty blocker in here. What would we take out for this, though? That would also get us up to, I feel a little... God, fucking buttons. I don't... I keep pushing these buttons I don't want to push. What was our creature count? That would get us up to 15. I'd feel a little bit better about that. I could see taking out a Silver Bolt. I want to hang on to our card advantage card here in Secrets of the Key. I think I do like this here. I'm going to keep our expensive package at the top end. We could take out a Silver Bolt. Like that. I want to hang on to Startle. We still have the needs for some sacrifice stuff. We have the Grafted Identity and the Behemoth. We still have the Siege Zombie to take advantage of them. I think this is fine. Let's see how this plays out. Looking good, looking good. Get that Sludge Zombie going. I know I'm going to enjoy it. I've really had issues running into that thing. It's such a strong unit. And like, blue just doesn't have giant dudes like that. It's very tough to just find a 5/5 out of blue. It's probably the only one. So, it's good. This is good. Let's get to action here. All right, well, not the most compelling of starts, but I don't think we can mulligan a hand with a 2 and a 3 and a removal spell. This is the lowest collection of cards. Like, you're just looking at a hand like this, and it's like, oh, you drew your 21st, your 22nd, your 23rd card in your deck here, didn't you? curious as well. Like, I haven't been playing like 16 land and best of one. Like, I kind of get that you can do it. I've just been playing 17 land forever. I'm curious if we should ever just drop down to 16, given the kind of consistency of hands we're drawing like this. But we'll see. That's an idea for another day. Hopefully this component collector just gets us a big shutdown on these units. This virtual card advantaged off 2 of them. If he has to, spend his trapper here, that's fine. No blocks. Getting flooded though. Kind of the downside to this stuff is once the flyers are active, we don't have a fantastic answer for him. Looks like he doesn't plan to attack though if he's just playing search party captains on us. Okay. Maybe this will help make the magic happen. Just cycle off the 2 bait hook anglers. Couldn't have been more perfect than that. Alright, I'm ready. I'm ready to trade for your ground units here that make one health flyers. Okay. This is a game where I wouldn't be too upset to have vivisection given the way our cards have fallen here. I mean, we still have plenty of stuff to do with our mana over the next few turns. Let this untap himself. Yeah. If we ever get there. If we ever get to flipping it to day or night. Okay. Let's protect our organ hoarder. And immediately pick up the digraph horde. It's a little unfortunate that we didn't pop off the gatekeeper as we immediately drew the horde, but I think this is okay. He's tapped out, so we can play all of our cards first. Secrets of the Key, bait hook angler. I think we want to go ahead and come in and hit with our zombie. Right, we don't have too much shenanigans we can do with these, so let's just go ahead and get the damage in. Yeah, we're looking pretty powerful now. We can full clear this board and just dome in for 10 if we want. Silverbolt the Hoarder, Revenge of the Drowned, the Graft Keeper. That certainly slows down our aggression. Alright, well I guess we can switch to Siege Zombie mode. See how many times we can skip over activating the Siege Zombie. Put the over-under at about 2. I'm pretty bad about skipping over this thing. Here, I'm going to Silverbolt off the Organ Hoarder. I don't suspect we're ever going to get too much better of a Silverbolt than that. But, let's see. You got it. the behemoth. It intended on just sacrificing off the. But should we just get rid of the digraph horde? There's still a world where the component collector is a relevant unit. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. Wrong one. Now we have the mana for the bait hook angler. Ready to come in and block. Looks pretty good. Not cool. Okay. Can't activate the siege zombie twice, so we'll just go ahead and let that happen. Alrighty. Get our component collector back in action. I mean, do we even want to bother at this point? I think it's okay. Let's get him untapped. He's not really threatening too much with his attacks here, so I'm not real worried about what's to happen with these. Another one. Sure. Hit a dude. Not bad, man. Not bad. He's had the answers to all of our big boys. It's getting a little worrisome. But, oh, I should have sacrificed the Evolving Wilds. Oops. Go ahead and get that out of the way. Did we miss our siege zombie again? Did we finally do it? Okay. Feel like we missed it that turn. Wouldn't surprise me. He's going to start getting us with the flyers. We're still relatively healthy. This is getting a little scary. Tempted to just pop off one of these. Let's get this Phantom out of here. Not really worried about his ground units, but if we're going to get into some kind of race with these siege zombies, him being able to gain life just isn't going to help anything. Endemic? Jesus. Okay. I guess he's not ultra scary on his front side. There's our big boy. Just can't play him this turn. Alright. So I'm surprised he doesn't bring in more stuff. Gotta start blocking. I'm gonna Revenge of the Drowned off this Devoted Graftkeeper. This is a kind of an awkward one as far as the flip is concerned. Maybe not. Maybe we just send off Dennick. I don't want to let him... This is the one we're not blocking this turn, though. We can come in and Sludge Monster it and not have to worry about it for a while. blocks. Goes top. All right, now I don't think we need to tap the collector. He's not gonna fix himself this. Oh, he is gonna fix himself this turn. we should have done that. We can just lethal though, right? He's got 2 cards in hand, which is a little scary. What would these ever be? I mean, I think this is probably the time to just go for it. It's a little scary hitting with our siege zombie. Like if he has like a flash unit for it. Okay. Maybe we just let it sit here and think on it for a little while and he'll just concede. But if he had like a loyal Griff, or if he had like a Nebelgeist, we wouldn't have been able to win that game if he took down our siege zombie. All right. That horned turtle put in some work this game. Like, I've always been a huge fan of a horned turtle. That's kind of where the LSB school of limited rubs off on me, is to where you just get this gigantic deck full of divinations and horned turtles, and then just win it with a Windrake. That's very much the style of deck I'm willing to play. But I don't know. It's like I see a card like that, the homunculus, whatever it is, and just be like, oh, this isn't that interesting of a card. It doesn't do anything that good. But I mean, it's a horned turtle with upside. So this isn't like the best format for that. There's not a lot of 1 health units running around. But I mean, there's like the green coven guy. There's a handful of vampires. The dude we just played against had a few. So I mean, it does stuff. Nothing wrong with doing stuff. All right. But here, I mean, I guess we can keep this. It's not very good, but it could spend some mana in the early game, I guess. Oh boy, what a way to speak for the quality of a hand. It can do some stuff in the early game. How many 2s did we end up with? Did we hit our 6? I usually look to hit with like 6 of these 2 drops. We hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just 1 short. It's not that bad. Give me them clues. Alright, well, he's not being ultra aggressive. He has some kind of weird draw where he's playing Lunarch Veteran on 2, so they didn't have any bears. Sure. Alright, well, things are happening slowly. We have a lot of power in our hand, though. We could still spend all of our mana. I don't really care about taking 2 damage here. I don't think we need to worry about trying to pop off a Grafted Identity at this point. It's a little awkward if we want to drop like the Digraph Ward here, though. Not going to get any value. Alright. That's felt like a win of a turn for us. I mean, these blue-white decks tend to be really on the aggressive end of things, and so if he's just going to hang out with a Lunarch Veteran and Shipwreck Sifters while we pop all these clues off, I feel like this is really a win for us. What a horrible day to be a sludge monster. Just all these do-nothing cards out here. All right, so I mean, are we willing to just go ahead and pop off the Digraph Horde? Feels like whatever we play is going to get hit by one of those counter spells. Let's just give it a turn. Okay. Have all the answers one could need with that. I don't really want to have to like sludge monster off a Storm Rider Spirit. I'd rather hit, one of these disturb units that are really worth canceling. Let's see. Okay. Here comes the aggression. Sure. Take our 3. Let's pop this clue. Alright, so we got to get on board with a little bit of something here. And this is unfortunate if he's going to play like the 4-mana counterspell on us. Getting this Digraph Horde hit is kind of a pain. That just immediately played though. Oh, he doesn't have the mana for it. Makes sense. Okay. Feels like things are improving. We'll just trade out whatever we can on this board. If he's wanting to start and attack him with these shipwreck sifters, I'm fine to try and trade off Organ Hoarders into him. Sure. Alright, so where does that leave us now? I think I definitely want to get the Sludge monster down. I want to go ahead and lock down this Departed Soulkeeper. Just turn him into a bad unit. So that's been dealt with. Might as well go ahead and get the Siege Zombie down. See what we can start to do on this board. Feels reasonably safe with this Sludge monster when we're able to protect it a little bit. I felt kind of awkward playing the Startle earlier. Like, it's not a complete disaster to attack with the Sludge monster and have it get traded out in combat, but ideally we'll have something to protect it. But we have the Revenge of the Drowned and we have the Defense Straight to do what we need to do. Okay, we can fairly realistically take away their Coven. So it's like we can like attack with Sludge Monster, pop the Lunarch Veteran, and then see how things look from there, whether or not we need to like defend straight or try and Revenge of the Drowned or something. I think this is okay. Oh, we can't attack though, he's candle trapped. Shit. And that's more problematic. And is it really worth chasing after taking down their covens to get the value out of this? I don't think so. He is going to get like his Soulkeeper back, but I don't think that's a huge problem. I think we just need to switch over to the Siege Zombie plan. It's going to take forever, but we can do these. Sure. Play the Observer. We have this Covetous Castaway in the wings that we can potentially use to block his flyers, and then we still have the Grafted Identity to take another flyer. I think this is okay. If he wants to come in here and like flip his Ambitious Farmhand, that's a pretty good steal for us with Grafted Identity as well. It would make it a 4/4 lifelink. Very, very tough for him to try and race. Can't break his Coven, right? No. This is double white to flip. We can't do it this turn. I think we're good. None of this looks particularly compelling. I mean, he can hit with the flyer, but then we're going to start getting good attacks out of our Digraph Horde and the like. Sure. Didn't even skip the Siege Zombie. Look at this. Look at us grow. Look at us become better people. Alright, let's see how this attack goes. Is it even worth? Like, if he just doesn't block, it's not worth. Let's be real. No attacks. So we'll add this thing, and then we can technically defend straight on their turn if we want to, being able to use the Unblinking Observer for blue mana. And both of the cards we just shuffled back in draw cards, so it feels like they're very reasonable shuffles. Highlighting that farmhand, I feel like we're going to get the steal on it if we want. I mean, is it even worth it at this point? I think that could be okay. Like, if we're not going to attack with Digraph Horde, are we going to attack with a 4/4 farmhand? I mean, probably. I think we actually would. Should be tough for them to deal with. He does still have like 3 cards in his hand, though, which is a bit of a struggle. Can we can break his Coven. Can we do anything about this? Activate only if you have it. Okay. I still think we're pretty safe here. I'm ready to deal with the Soulkeeper with the Silver Bolts. Just need some more of that time thing everybody's talking about. We can do that. then we have to stop, right? If we're gonna silver bolt. Well, yeah, if we want to play the candle guide, we wouldn't be able to silver bolt. Is this a human? Should be a spirit. Okay. Safe enough, I think. Longest game 2021, but I think we've turned the corner in it. Played 3 candle traps. It's hard to imagine they're going to have any more. Cool. Yeah, play all the cards on the Cathar. Oh man, oh man, he's just give it some more bonuses. I appreciate it. All right, target this thing. Sacrifice a creature. Let's give it a turn. I want to be able to, defend straight and Revenge of the Drowned this stuff in the middle of combat, given the opportunity here. Sure. I mean, I think we're good to just go ahead and Revenge of the Drowned that. It's odd that he played it now. I guess he did it to put the counter on it, but can't defend straight this thing. Oh, there we go. There we go, skipping some siege zombie damage. I think that's our second time this match. So he's doubled up on our digraph horde. This is fine. It's worth the. I think it's probably worth the defense straight. Oh, changed his mind. We got infinite health now. He has Storm Rider Spirit on top of his deck, which we don't really care about. So let's just add in the Organ Hoarder. Alright, I think we're good. We just need a few more turns to come in and close this one out. Three. 1, 2, 3. Picked up Startle, another reasonable one. Crossroads Candle Guide has stats. Oh, we get to forget he gets to even do stuff. Sure. think we're getting there. We should be able to win it on our next attack. Oh, there's another candle trap. it took long enough. Got 4. Damage. Damage. Stop there. Can we win with an attack? It's got 3 blockers. So it would be 2, 4. Let's see. He blocks our big ones. Our big 3. So we got 2. Yeah, this is good. Double check. Blocks a 3, 3, 3. Takes like 12. I think those mathematics are good. Dad, we did it. Half hour later. GG. Cool. All right. You also left with me after that when I had to go take a break. You gotta get a get a bathroom break, get some cereal in, get my breakfast on. Whew. Tough, long games. All right. So I can't imagine we can ever keep this one on the draw. Like Siege Zombie's not a real rough and tumble early game unit. Oh, this is a hobbling zombie instead of. I thought this was the Digraph Horde. Maybe. All right. Fine. Mulligans are just so punishing in this game. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Opponent was on the greedy end. So let's get our attack in. There's no flash units you can play here, but just in case, we'll keep the startle mana up. And then we'll get the hobbling zombie going. We can just ace this unit, right? So how do we feel about this? I think this attack with the hobbling zombie is going to be free. Let's go ahead and make it. And then we have the choice to either Organ Hoarder or to Revenge of the Drowned. And like, Hound Tamer is a really high quality play, but I think we can add Organ Hoarder. And then look to Revenge of the Drowned next turn. Take our big play. Just pass and flip. Oh, this is huge. This is huge. Much greed coming out of that play. Okay. He goes bottom with it. Not bad. No plays now. If he has the Flash Wolf and we lose our Siege Zombie, I think it's okay. Then here I wanna sacrifice off the little god to the Morkut Behemoth. It should be enough to end it. Cool. Winning games feels good. We win these games, does that mean the Chiefs are going to lose? Fantasy squads are going to be hurting. You can't just win everything, right? You win literal everything one day. It feels so nice. So nice. But back to the game here. I think this is okay. It's kind of weird having like the 2 mana, 3/2s, and 2/5. So it's kind of like a 5 card hand to a degree. But if we start drawing mana, it can do some damage. We'll play the Bait Hook Angler first. It's the most tradable unit that we have. Sure. And the Unblinking Observer is our next most tradable unit. I'm just going to hold back here. I don't want to be in this space to where it's like they play a shock on a unit, and we just have to take all the damage. All right, well, I guess opponent is struggling. I would say that they're gonna pop off like the attack with the Perforator, get a trade, and then pop off that 4 cost thing. No, no popping. We won't Seed Zombie. I still want to be able to block. Is the Socialite good enough to to hit with the Sludge Monster? I don't really want all of his dudes coming down with the bonus. But on the flip side, it's like I would rather save the Siege Monster or the Sludge Monster for when they play like the 6/5 Trample. I mean, we could just start off with a defense straight here. It feels a little meh. Let's just get our big boy down. Like, he can guaranteed activate the Socialite because of this Falconwrath Perforator, but I think this is where we're going to be. We're going to save this Sludge Zombie for the big dude that he's about to play. Then we can defend straight. Defensive defense straights with our Sludge Monster. Right, the big decisions are being made. Let's see, our turn. Ooh, didn't skip it. Go us. Did not skip the Seed Zombie. Alright, well, I guess this is fine. Let's start off with an attack with the Digraph Horde. I think he's just going to take the 3, but if he goes wild with blocking, I'm pretty okay with just shutting down a piece of it. And I guess this is where we're at, adding the Sludge Monster in. Tempted to just hit the Festival Crasher. This is the only unit that he has that can do, potentially scary stuff based on their spells. Like at this point, I think I'm okay with them just getting like a +1. Like a +1 off the Vampire Socialite. It wasn't meant to be, my friend. It wasn't meant to be. Component collector coming down for the big time blocks. I appreciate it, my man. Yeah, you gotta stop and read this thing. Horn turtle. Oh. That's getting the X spells, huh? Okay. Get us for 5, sure, take us to 10. You have to stop attacking with the Horde. Oh boy. Oh, that was a brutal collection of cards. It gets so many stats. Well, I think we have to stop attacking. I have removals for a lot of this, but make us do anything? Interesting. I do want to go ahead and like Silver Bolt. It's like if we draw a cheaper play, I want to be able to not be stuck in this space to where we don't have any removal in hand. One card short of this Locked in the Cemetery being able to do anything. Or I guess not. Shouldn't say being able to do anything, but being able to lock down a unit without it already being tapped. Alright, it's all out there. Go ahead and Evolving Wilds before we forget. Just get that out of here. If we attack with everything, this is a lethal. So I'm going to go ahead and swing with it all. Forces a block with the Perforator. It's taking it. Right to the nug. Cool. Where are we at? We're up to our 1,400 gems. Feels good. Alright, so let's check out this opener. Not a bad start. A bunch of our early game stuff with the mana to cast it. I think I want to play the Castaway here. This is the unit we would kind of want to die the most, and it doesn't let them trade off with the Occultist, right? If we put down Seed Zombie and Bait Hook Angler, they get attacks into where they can trade the Occultist, but here we can just prevent the point of damage. Absolutely. Wow, that seemed quite ambitious. They just have to be like completely out of land or something, right? Just digging. They stalled at 2 and needed to dig for a land. That would be my guess. They've certainly hit if that was the case. Turns into a flying death touch. This thing's annoying. Alright, Siege Zombies it is. I don't know if you all are familiar with the joys of playing against Vampire Nighthawk. I forget what set that was. It wasn't the original Innistrad, but there was something back around then. I played quite a bit of whatever format had Vampire Nighthawk in it. The 2/3 flying Death Touch lifelink, just impossible to deal with. I think they like put it in some of the cubes eventually. It wasn't great in cube when the power level was super high, but the power level of that particular set was huge as far as the Nighthawk was concerned. I think I'm just going to come in and take the Digraph Horde. It's hard for them to have a unit better than the Horde. Oh, target a creature. This. Sacrifice a creature. The bait hook angler. And combat. Right, it's tough for them to have units better than this. I could see them like spending 5 mana on something of kind of equal quality, but the horde is kind of as big as it gets in these colors. I mean, I guess he is playing green. He could play rando big green dude, but I think this is good. Covert Cut Purse would be able to shut it down eventually, though. Can't deal with this Death Touch Flyer. That's lame. I said it. You heard it here first. Alright, let's get to Organ Horden. Just take the removal. We do have the Candle Guide to take down a card from his graveyard. I can't imagine that he ends up playing Lost from the Cellar this turn, though. Yeah, that's what Digraph Horde's what makes sense. We're going to lose our Bait Hook Angler, but he's not the most important thing to have. This wall of zombies is a bit scary. Surprised he hasn't just sent them in. I guess they can have sacrifice combos with them, but... There they come. Are we good to just take 8? Like, we have one good block with the Candle Guide. I don't really want to kill off the Cut Purse. I mean, we can trade into it, but... I kind of like these ideas of, like, we can potentially, like, double defense rate next turn. And chunk in for big damage. He's gonna have another play here. It seems like he's gonna play like a Crossroads Candle Guide or something, but oops, Cobble. Yeah. Land. There we go. Let's get all these dum-dums out of here. You're dead. You're dead. And do that aggro thing everybody's talking about. I can't imagine he has a combat trick. If he had a combat trick, he would have played it on the Candle Guide last turn. So his Corpse Cobble flashback is now shut down. I mean, we had the Revenge of the Drowned to remove it if we needed to, but that's not a thing. So the only downside to this board is if he has 2 plays this turn, which isn't unreasonable. We can't lethal, but we can get really close. Oh. Got all of our gems back. All 1,600 of them now. Look at us. 4 packs, all the gems. Good stuff. An avatar weirds me out. It's like a blue-red vampire or something. I don't get it. I don't know what the angle is. Here, this is fine. Again, we got stuff we can play early. If we stall on 2 for a turn, we can still hopefully recover. It's fine. I haven't been leading up the deck list. I wish there was a thing like since a lot of my followers main play Legends of Runeterra, but are just kind of following along with Magic for my pretty voice and stuff. I wish that these deck trackers, like with Twitch, where they're integrated, I wish they could get integrated with YouTube. I get that it's like a much smaller thing in comparison as to where YouTube gaming nowhere matches what's out there on Twitch. But it would be nice if my Runeterra folks would be able to follow the deck tracker and see what the new cards are. Huh. I mean, I think I'm willing to trade a Larder Zombie for a whatever the 2-mana combat trick is. Party Captain makes sense. Okay. Get rid of the Angler. Looking for lands here. But, I mean, this is at least decent here in terms of he's not going to have great attacks into this combo of Larder Zombie and Horned Turtle. Whoa. I'm on board with that. The swamp. Drop our Horned Turtle. Turn is yours, my man. Decline. We will take the Organ Hoarder. Does this have first strike? Flying first strike? Yeah, so our bait hook anglers aren't going to do much in the face of this thing. This thing is just reasonably annoying all around. you don't have the health to deal with a 2-attack flyer or 2-attack first striker. Okay. That's gonna go down fast. Letting dude hang on to dual-craft trainers. Or we can just do it that way. Sure. Oh no, 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 no. Oh god, damn it. Forgot he's got ward on everything. Shit. I mean, it's still fine. We can still use these tools next turn, but forgot about ward going across. Okay. This can't return. This has to hit units, right? Yeah, put a creature. I was just dealing with our siege zombie, with our sludge monsters today. It's been pretty annoying. Okay, we get to attack now. Works for me. Sure. I want our sludge monster back. They don't have any way to deal with these enchantments, right? I'm pretty sure we don't. Candle guides. No. Okay. shuffling away the lands. We'll find a way to deal with them eventually. Or, I mean, you'll eventually just draw them. I guess I think I'm still fine with putting that on the bottom. After I did it, I realized we can just like put it on top and then zombie it away so we get our drifter back. But I think this is fine. Need a way to discard this castaway. Oh man, we get to tap or untap something. Yes. Not paying. The one time we get to use our drifter. Alright, well, let's just get more stuff on board. I have to imagine we'll draw some kind of answer to the Shieldgeist at some point. Okay. I would assume he's discarding a land here. Was correct. Let's see. So yeah, I mean, this board is okay. He can't attack. We're improving our card quality faster than he is. We still have 2 removal spells in our hand. Kind of a matter of drawing our good cards. We're Sludge Monster. He would have been so good on this board. Alright, we can draw a digraph for it, I guess. Gotta play our big boys when we get them, right? And with blue-whites, I don't think it matters. Let's just take the creatures out. Dualcraft Trainer is what would scare me more than anything. I don't think they have a way to bring that stuff back, though. Gotta hide the deck. Our board is completely full. Okay. Decline. Alright then, I mean, it is pretty tempting to just Grafted Identity their Shieldgeist. It also lets us just kill off the Coveted Castaway. But, I mean, how do these attacks look? If we attack with Digraph Horde and he just puts everything on it, it seems kind of painful. This unit has to be good enough. Sacrifice a creature. We want to lose the Castaway. Love to pay the mana for this. Alright, we got ourselves a unit. Now it's like I'm curious with the Castaway if we want to say like, assume that they're going to deal with our grafted identity and then, just save it for a better shuffle away. I think we probably have good enough stuff in our graveyard to want to still want to use the shuffle. Just take the spells while we can. I mean, this cycle's at worst. Get him with the flyers. Play our Castaway. Oh, damage. Whatever good cards are in here. I'm not really amped about picking up Organ Hoarders. I think we just want the removal, like the Silver Bolts, the Defense Straight. Is there anything else? Just those two? This is why I was kind of like, man, I wonder if we should wait until something like Grafted Identity goes away. But whatever. Super far ahead here. There it is. Our Grafted Identity's all gone. Looks like he put it on the bottom. It flips back to the front side, which is just that 1/1 first striking unit that isn't really exciting. Alright, well, we probably have to let them get a haunt. We don't have to let them kill with Morning Patrol. Something like this. I don't want to lose out on our larder zombie. It's going to continue our card quality for the rest of the game. Okay. We got 13 cards left, so I think we got plenty of time between our flyers and hitting on Siege Zombie. Candle Guide. I don't think we really want it. I mean, it does give us the opportunity to potentially like kill off one of his ground units and then Candle Guide away the Disturb, but like we have so little mana. It's just going to be too tough for us to make those chains of plays. Alright, well, we'll draw Siege Zombie eventually. We got 10 cards left, so we got plenty of time. Okay. Guess the Behemoth can potentially do some attacking. Down to 7 cards in our deck. Gotta get that Siege Zombie somewhere. I think we'll do one more turn of this stuff. I'd like to leave like 4 or 5 cards left. Just in case, like, Siege Zombie is our last card. And if he makes like an everything block on the behemoth, we have the startles to protect. Alright, well, we're getting close. I think the all-in attack might do it next turn. We have to tap something. There it is. Okay, okay. Oof. Bringing in that thunder. All right, 3 shots at the final battle. Let's see if we can take this one down. Whew. Not bad. That was where you can't run into that problem where like siege zombies just in the bottom of your deck and you just don't have enough time to mill through everything, but that worked out good. I was surprised we didn't end up like drawing more land. You know, if you're milling stuff off with the zombie, you can still potentially draw land, right? If you have 2 land in a row and you only get to mill off the first one, you draw one in the second one. I was kind of expecting us to get up to like 7 or 8 land in that game, but we never did it. Turned out okay, but okay. Attempt number 1. What do we got? On the play, I mean, not particularly good, but if we draw a swamp, I think it's okay, and if we draw any land, it's okay. So yeah, let's hang on. Green, white, sharp. I'll highlight my zombie. Get that out of here. I don't like it when people come out here and highlight my cards. It means like they're usually about to do something mean to them. Okay. I think I want to go ahead and just silver bolt this. Like we're going to use the silver bolt on it, but it's kind of a disaster. If we go into next turn, he attacks, we silver bolt in combat, and then he just has like the human indestructible card. Just take tons of damage and don't actually kill off the unit. I think this is fine. Missed on the land though. We were due for some for some of the bottom side of luck. So, like, if he attacks, it should be relatively clear that he just has a combat trick. I think we're willing to trade the zombie for a combat trick, though, just to... They shouldn't really be playing a ton of units in that space. I mean, I guess it's very easy for green-white to have a 2-2, but just do nothing. So I'd say we're most definitely getting silver bolted this turn. Just got to take one of these units. The candle guide is the bigger of the two, and we could potentially hit his join the dance with the candle guide. Suspect he's going to like silver bolt our organ hoarder here. Okay. What do I know? Boo. Cards are in our graveyard. 3. Can't quite use Locked in the Cemetery yet. Let's just spend all of our mana. And this technically has this mana fixing attached to it, so if we want to defend straight, we can do a 4-mana defense straight. But without them being able to attack here, I mean, these larger zombies giving us tons of virtual card advantage has been quite fantastic. Bulb number 2. Got a commando our candle guide. He's been thinking about it. I think he wants to commando our candle guide, Silverbolt something, and then just start attacking with his units. Which, I mean, that's pretty good for us. Down to 2 cards. Yeah, I think we're pretty healthy here. We should have plenty of time to draw a swamp, get these things going. Speaking of the swamp. I think the highest value unit for him to Silverbolt here is the larder zombie. Yeah, this is great. I'm very happy to come through and get to hopefully improve our card quality for the rest of the game. The only thing that would be worrisome is they have one of these like rando epic angels or something that we can't defend straight, and locked in the cemetery doesn't completely answer. I guess we can Grafted Identity something, but I think we're in a pretty good spot here. Yeah, the pacing in Runeterra is so much faster, though. I do miss that. I wish they had speed mode in these things. You had to play under Nosdormo the entire games. I haven't spent much time bitching about that in in Magic, but players certainly get much more time in this game. Okay. Alright, well, no reason to play anything here. We can Secrets of the Key on opponent's turn if we need to, otherwise we can continue to improve our card quality. There's the, I was gonna say, I was really surprised that he got away from that on the previous one. Startled. Let's go ahead and get rid of it. It's like I'd like to just find land here. We still have a block with the Organ Hoarder. He finally decides it's safe to attack. We can at least take down one of these humans. Running around with their pumpkins. He looks so happy. He's so happy about his pumpkin, man. I never zoomed in on this guy. So happy. He's like, look at this good job I did. Carved this sweet pumpkin and put all the candles on top. So happy. There they go. I was waiting on that to happen. If he combat tricks, I think we're good to just try and save our Organ Hoarder. If he, follows up with a big unit a turn or two from now, then we still have all these locked in the cemeteries and the grafted identity to come in and try and deal with it. I think it's fine. And since we already played our land, we won't advertise that we don't really have anything to do here. Like, we're never playing locked in the cemeteries on these units. I'm not going to grafted identity any of this stuff, but we don't need to just tap out here. We're not going to be able to play the card we get off of the clues. Okay. Very, very scary unit. Might actually have to just come in and take this one with the Coven ability. It's really problematic for us, giving everything the 3/3 and trample. What a turd to have to spend spend a grafted identity on. Alright, fine game. Alright, we got our big blocker though now. Ready to block this stuff. But yeah, whenever we're talking about like the blue-green decks in general, these are the bros that ultimately give you a lot of trouble. You know, even if you locked in the cemetery and keep it tapped down, it still has the ability that it gets to use. So maybe we'll find a way to get a forest. Okay. I hope you're ready for action, Morcut Behemoth, because you're gonna have to start carrying for us. I think we still have a defense straight though. We have one defense straight and then a Revenge of the Drowned sludge monster. So we have some ways to deal with this thing. Ugh. That could be problematic. At least he's going to be tapped out. We can shut down Catilda before she gives the squad a bonus. Can't imagine they ever attack here, right? If your game plan is to boost everything up with Catilda, then you just want to have your units on board to get the boost. I'll take the bait for whatever this is. This guy just be a combat trick or something. Dawnheart Mentor costs 6 mana. Do you actually have 6 and I just didn't count it right? Oh, Catilda lets his units tap for mana. Oh, okay, I got you. Alright, that was sloppy. I read past that ability where the humans get the bonus. Alright, well, just drew all of the answers. But that was a little sloppy. This would feel a lot better if we still had that Organ Hoarder and we just took a handful of damage last turn. But that was just a top tier draw in the defense straight. Sure. Okay, okay. So hopefully we're fine. I think we've taken this game over. Now it's just going to be a matter of if we messed up a little bit too much and he's able to get around us. We can deal with any big boy with locked in the cemetery. We're about to have a big boy of our own. I think this is okay. I'm gonna pay the price for this. I'm gonna sacrifice off the unit. I want to make sure that we get 2 units on board this turn. Okay, this would be nice if we had the Raise Dead spell in here. Like, that would probably be enough to just take this over. Don't have that one, though. I think that he probably just takes this for a turn or two, but we'll see. Gives us such a huge advantage if he just, sacrifices all of his units. Okay, here he comes. We ever attack with the Digraph Horde? I don't think I'm willing to trade the Horde. Like, the Candlegrove Witch Search Party Captain block under the Horde is too good. Oh my gosh, these are so bonkers if we ever get to, ever have, like, a combat trick in hand. Okay, I'm feeling a lot better about this now. Can start to attack with our other units. I wanted to keep some of this back just in case they had, there's like the Coven card that gives your team +2/+1 or something. It felt like we might have a space where we had to block there, but good now. Uh-oh. Dual craft trainers are scary. That's most certainly a way we could have lost this game. But if he attacks, we're lethal. Well, he's got cards in hand, so maybe not lethal, but I think I still feel safe. Let's start with the Organ Hoarder and just see what happens. Revenge. We don't have the mana to play all these, but we can do an attack like this. So if we need to block with the Hook Hunt Drift in front of a, oh, we did have the Revenge of the Damned. Okay. I think that still applies though. If he has like we don't want to be like caught off guard with a fly or getting a big bonus with double strike and losing. So I think we just wanted to come in for exacties there. Nice little 7-0. I didn't, they're 6-0. I didn't expect this one to carry on that hard, but certainly did quite well. So let's get this pulled up. We'll talk about it a little bit more. All right. So yeah, I mean, as far as the deck itself goes, it turned out fine, right? We did talk about through the draft how this felt just kind of like we were in a below average pod as far as card quality was concerned. And, if we're playing within our pod, that's fine. But having to play against, random collections of people outside of our pod, it can be kind of awkward just in the sense, right? We kind of use the example of our average card quality in our pool is like a 4 out of 10, and then we play against somebody that was in a draft where the average card quality was like a 6 out of 10, then they just have an advantage. Kind of, is what it is. I'm not complaining. I am very glad we don't have to wait on 3 other matches to finish to go into the next round. That stuff's just all kind of garbagey and dated. But, there are some advantages that other people can have. And so I did at the end of the day feel like this was a reasonable deck within our pod, but kind of bad outside of it. And but at least we had all the tools one needs for success. I mean, the Grafted Identity, absolutely fantastic. Control magics are still incredibly powerful. Sludge Monster is a nice kind of catch-all for anything, and then we had a decent removal package. We've certainly had stronger removal packages, but 2 Locked in the Cemetery, 2 Defense Straight, 1 Silverbolt, and 1 Revenge of the Drowned was most certainly good enough to carry. And so, yeah, as far as these decks go, I would have liked to have had like a little bit more zombie generation. That's kind of the thing that we've been lacking these days, is having enough cards that generate zombies to take full advantage of our siege zombies and the sacrifice effects like the Morkut Behemoth. But overall, I think this deck turned out fine. I guess you could hopefully see the power in the Larder Zombie. This is one of the units that I've been getting more and more happy with as time has progressed with this format. Just really shuts down a lot of the early game aggression kind of decks. Like you could see in those games to where we just had like Larder Zombie and Horn Turtle on the board, just like virtual card advantaging off like 5 units. Just so much time that comes out of these. So I'm not saying run out of there and grab like 3 or 4 of them, but you're happy enough to play it. Otherwise, your standard filler in these decks looks like Bait Hook Angler, Covetous Castaways, and Siege Zombie. Not so much Unblinking Observer, but we had to hit our 2 drops somewhere in here. But yeah, otherwise, I think this was a pretty straightforward one. Not too much complexity going on in this deck. I think this is a fairly standard. I would call this more of a good cards blue-black deck as opposed to a zombies deck. So that's the only real difference going on here. There's not a whole lot of let's early Larder Zombie, late game Siege Zombie with like having 4 zombies on the board, which is not really getting that going here. But, as far as the draft goes, I was pretty happy with how it went. I think we managed this one pretty well. Again, we always talk about starting with either a bomb or a removal spell. If you get to tie those into one, you get Grafted Identity. Very easy take. And then as these kind of progress, this is just an all-around extremely weak pack. I could see an argument for taking a Blood Thief over the Silverbolts here, but the kind of the idea with this is if you end up in any of the non-black decks with blue, then your removal spells are really limited to Lost in the Cemetery. So it's nice to have the Silverbolts in case you don't end up in black, and then otherwise we aren't missing out on much. Like blue-black is where our first 2 picks would take us, and blue-black just doesn't want Stormkirk Blood Thief. This belongs in a much more aggressive deck, or a deck with a bunch of flyers, both of which are pretty tough to piece together in blue-black. So other than that, these cards are just pure trash. This is a very weak set of cards. Then you're never happy about picking up a Bait Hook Angler second. I could see an argument for picking up a Hallowed Respite, but I've just not been impressed with this in this format. There's not a ton of cards that this can really take advantage of, but I'm reasonably happy enough with Bait Hook Angler. I'm happy with this in blue-black. Happy with this in black-white or blue-black and blue-white, and so I think it's a fairly easy take. I could see an argument for the Flip the Switch, but I think I stand by the Bait Hook Angler here. The Flip the Switch just isn't good in blue-white. It's not bad, it's just not good, whereas the Angler is, a tick above average in some of these decks. I think that was good. But then, yeah, these were like so weird. It's like there's no good Esper cards outside of like the Loyal Grift, Revenge of the Drowned, just a big pile of green and red and trash that just no one wants. So we're happy enough with the Revenge of the Drowned, at least keeps us into blue. I'm not sure, again, how I feel about these vivisections. There's some games where we would have been like moderately okay with this, and then games where it would have just been terrible. I'm usually pretty happy with just like one card draw card, and I think I tend to like Secrets of the Key a little bit more than Vivisection, just because it's you get to spread it out over multiple turns, right? So you can sometimes mill it where it's just free value, or if you're actually playing it for cards, then spending 1 mana now and then 2 mana and then 4 mana, and then it's all spread out and not having to be one of these turns to where you can just basically get by without playing any cards. So I tend to like it a little bit more than Vivisection, but again, the way that these blue decks play out, we need to get our removal spells, so I'm happy with the Locked in the Cemetery here over the Silverbolts as well. And yeah, not too much exciting going on the rest of the way. Baneblade Scoundrel wants to be an aggressive deck, so that's not what we're doing here. Drownyard Amalgam is pretty weak, so happy enough with the Stormrider Spirit, even though we didn't play it. getting the removals and silver bolts. Yeah, it was just a very weak set. Like I was happy at least, we kind of decided with this singular Morkut Behemoth that we were just like drafting black. Again, you don't have to like lock in at this point. It's just our first black card, but getting this around 8th pick makes me feel pretty decent about black being open. It's just a really, again, weird set of cards that were opened here, just back into the trash pile of dudes here. And the rest of the way, I was pretty happy with this again. I was kind of hoping to wheel something out of this one. This was such a, finally a good Esper pack. We were hoping to get a Procession or an Abomination, like something back. I know nothing wheeled out of this one. Oh, it did. Hang on. My bad. It must have been a later pack. We got the Hobbling Zombie back out of this one. That was quite nice. Covetous Castaway over the Siege Zombie. We talked about this one a little bit in the draft. I was happy enough with it. The Castaway, again, just harder to find, and it solves a lot of the problems that we have. It's so good early. It's good late. It's a good sacrifice target. And Siege Zombie's a common, so he's a little bit more easier to come across. But yeah, I don't think there was too much exciting beyond this. There's a handful of good green cards that we missed out on. We're seeing these Shadow Beast sightings roll by, but we didn't miss out on too much that way. So I think we'll stop it there. I don't think that this was a very complex draft. We got locked into blue pretty early. The white cards never really showed up in any substance. And then if we were looking to draft blue-green, we want the ramp cards, so they weren't here. If we want to draft blue-red, there was a Geistflame Reservoir. We could have looked to go into blue-red, but just so much safer taking Organ Hoarders here. And so that just basically narrows us down to being blue-white or blue-black. And I think we had more synergies in black. We weren't seeing any good white cards through here anyways. There was never a white card amongst these that felt like we were really missing out on. So yeah, not a bad draft. Not a bad draft. We're starting to get there. So let's claim these prizes. See what sweet cards we open here. We'll call it a day. Get everybody. I was gonna say I'm about to go get ready for the football, and so I guess you all are already done with it. What is this? Costs 3. You can kicker it and do all 3 things. Mind Rot. Return a creature from 2 or less to the graveyard to the battlefield or destroy a creature. Not bad. Not bad. Seems like that would have been pretty nutsos and limited. Alright, on to the new cards. What up, Tovalar? Always prefer your Huntmaster over you. What else we got? More gold wild cards, looking good. Natural growth. I had to play against that in Constructed the other day. It's wild seeing it in Constructed. I guess some of the mono green decks are playing a bit of it. Meat Hook Massacre is quite good. Been running into that quite a bit in Constructed as well. We'll get one of those Constructed videos together here before you know it. Here. The Triscata file, we were not happy with it limited. Just a little bit too expensive to get going. Fateful Absence. Turns out removal is good. Well, Florian seems like the most misplayed rare across all of Limited I've seen up to this point. So many people just missing drawing so many cards with that guy. And an Angel Fire Ignition. Not bad. So yeah, that's going to do it for us today. Hope you all, learned how to trudge through the slime a little bit better. Maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.